When I think about the things that have shaped and formed me, two of the things that stand out are my undergraduate experience at Wake Forest and then being a United States naval officer.
As a sweetmeat and a roommate, he would leave early in the morning and then appear very late at night. So I just suspect that he was in the library all of this time.
The way that he talks about it, there is this deep pride of challenge, how he walked into that and stepped up to that. And it's something that is part of him.
He felt that there were people in his town that were depending on him.
Troy's probably typical of a lot of small southern towns. It's just this closeness. You feel a part of the community and you really feel like people care about you.
Buck was a lieutenant in the Navy, and some of the guys we flew with were 40-year-old veterans, but it was Buck's job to lead that crew. So it starts with integrity and humility and compassion, and he did that personally with each person that he met.
At the end of 8 years, which was the first opportunity I had to exit the Navy, I got out and went to work in the corporate world.
He traveled a lot, and I think that was one of the big reasons, kind of similar to the Navy, that wasn't where he wanted to be. I always want to think that we were the reason.
But it was during that time that a call to ministry really started to unfold in my life.
He obviously brought with him a lot of training, and I think that equipped him in his ministry to be taken seriously and for him to be able to build bridges with people from different outlooks on life and different experiences in life.
He had a magic car. It had a automatic trunk open, and he would make it into this giant game where he would press the button, like abracadabra, he'd do this whole thing, and then he'd pop the trunk, and me and Trey would just go, oh, I can't believe that. And he would do it every time.
One of the things as a young parent that was a real important part of my life was having a child with special needs. Our son Trey is on the autism spectrum.
And when Trey was diagnosed with autism, I remember it being a very emotional time. But I also remember it just, he and Kathy being so determined that this was not going to define who Trey became.
Trey cultivated this capacity in Buck and is a fully functioning, happy, professional, fully employed adult because the whole Cochran family took that journey.
We have a son with special needs. His name is Julian, and he has cerebral palsy. He's not able to walk or talk or care for himself.
The conversation tends to revolve around what they can't do, or what they need, or what they take, with really very little emphasis on what they give us.
But we knew he had an interest in the world of special needs and had done some work with special needs. And so we asked him to lunch.
And we started connecting and sharing this dream we had of a community for folks with disabilities and how we might be able to create that in the Greensboro area.
He took this little seed, this little mustard seed, and said, we can do this, but there's a long, hard path to get there.
Dad talks about when he was talking to other people about Peacehaven, the best response that he got was, it's highly unlikely it will work.
So Buck and I are not natural farmers. My wife was, and she was the one that said, let's build this farming community so that people will have a reason to come if it's not just special needs that they're connected to.
So I think people are attracted to it not just because of the disability piece, but because it does appeal to their humanity and our common humanity in general.
One of our core values is growth. Certainly there's the growth that happens with the things that are in the ground. As important is the growth that we see in people.
People with disabilities come from the community, and that interaction with people who don't and people who do. Everybody's learning from each other, and it's just a great atmosphere.
Places like Peacehaven are few and far between in terms of providing an opportunity where a person with intellectual developmental disability can live independently.
I love it out here, and I get to do a lot of stuff that most folks don't get to do. And I'm proud of them doing that, where folks with disabilities can have a place to live and work.
Peacehaven is a part of the continuum of Buck and his, love of people and his ability to give.
And if you visit Peacehaven, you'll see that. It's hard not to leave there feeling completely uplifted.
I kind of joke that my dad's not particularly skilled at anything. Like, my dad's not a farmer. He's a leader who sees the best in people and wants to put them in a place where that can grow.
But there's nothing that has sustained me and allowed me to do what I've done better than my family.